Babisha the builders are here. We're building up, bitch.
It's time.
It's time to build back better.
Don't do this. If
I...
Is my hair crazy today?
A little bit.
Okay. One moment. It has been 1 year since Boys Planet.
Since our lives changed.
How do we feel?
Because I knew you. Oh, girl, I'm going to be Singerella.
Is this the whole...
This whole show. I'm going to be singing this whole show. Because I'm with my fellow vocalistas. I'm with my fellow main vocals. Gone singing.
Jeup. Hi, welcome back. My name's Adam.
And I'm RJ. This is Boys Love Build Up.
This is Boys Love Build Up. And it's a bold statement to say Boys Love Build Up already.
Because it's the first episode.
And we are not getting
to watch. I'm going to be honest.
They do not want international
fans to watch the show, unfortunately. They made it so hard for anyone to watch. They are like, this is a Korean show. We're gatekeeping the singers. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. And yet, here we are covering it. Because it's vocals.
It's
vocals. It's boys.
We have done 4 survival show recaps now. This is our 5th one. None of the shows... What was the closest show that came to... that focused on vocals? Boys Planet, right? But it was even like... It's like few and far between they had vocals.
Of the 4 that we've watched, I would say Queendom Puzzle.
Oh, yes, because they had specific...
Yes.
Vocal challenges.
Yes.
But Island, it was just like all-rounders. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to compare.
Yeah.
Because that was a curated trainee group.
Yes.
Of like the cream of the crop.
Mm-hmm. The Ben de la Creme.
The Ben de la Creme.
So here, they have truly just singled out vocals.
I'm
going to be frank with you right now, girls.
Okay. Hi, Frank.
Hi, Frank. I don't want to see a single 2-step, not a single grapevine. I don't want to see any square. Dancing. I don't want a jazz square. If they make these men start dancing and singing, then you defeat the purpose of what the show is.
I want them to park and bark every week. I want 10 weeks of parking and barking.
I know you're all great dancers. We've seen But Just Be.
I don't know that for some of them.
I know that there are excellent dancers in this group.
Oh, yeah.
I don't need to see it.
Here.
Umuti's here. I don't need to see a single choreography.
No.
Not in this show.
I don't want... It's not even that I don't need to. I don't want to.
I just want vocals here. This is the vibe.
Heading into today. Heading into our recap of the first episode. They had released silhouetted vocal performance videos onto YouTube.
Anonymous.
To really be like...
anon.
Yes. To really be like... Just hear it.
Yeah.
It's an aural experience.
Aural.
AURAL. Don't go into this being like...
Don't.
Oh, I can... Don't jazz. Don't go into this being like, oh, it's about who stands who, right? It's not about that. It's the antithesis of the Boys Planet model, which is...
You're bringing stands in.
Yeah. Grow your...
Queendom Puzzle. Yeah, same.
Right. The episode came out like a couple days before. They finally released like the names.
Faces, yeah.
And what category their voice is in.
But from the very beginning, they just want you to focus on the vocals.
It is just about how they sound.
I have the voice, Curtis.
I have the voice. From those, I'm just going to let you know what our picks were. Okay. And you. I'm really letting you know. My picks were V2, V8 tomato juice, V22, and V34. Comparing notes. Okay. Now that names and faces have been revealed, I had 1 soul and 3 power.
Wow.
So we know what I like.
We know what you like.
Okay. RJ, you had V2, V18, V19, and V28. You had 1 soul and 3 unique.
Unique.
Do you feel confident still with those picks from before the show started?
From before the show started, yes, I think so. From after episode 1, no, because they only showed V2. They did not show the other.
For me, I got
yours.
I got a couple of mine.
Yeah.
I kind of ate. Okay. I kind of ate with my picks, but it is what it is. Here's the show. There are 4 groups of singers. Mm-hmm. There are 12 all-rounders, which just means like
they're idol singers.
Yeah. They have pop vocals.
Yeah.
There are 10 soul singers. There are 7 power vocalists, and there are 11 unique voices.
Yes, which just mean they have a unique timbre, tone,
style. Yeah. That being said, the boys walk in. There's 40 spots. There's 40 contestants. They stand in the circle, blah, blah, blah. They have pre-recorded those videos that we were just talking about. And so now for each other, they play snippets. And then they vote. And the criteria that they were told is, would you want to sing with this voice?
Yep. Would you want to be in a 4-part group with this voice?
This is not a Are you good?
It's not a queendom puzzle. I think I'm better than this, or I think
I'm better or not.
I'm better or not.
Yeah.
Basically.
This is not that.
It's not that.
It is
not star level tests. It's not finding star quality. It's not even finding the best voice. Mm-mm. It is everyone is voting. This is
a production vote. This is a producer vote.
Yeah. It just feels like this show specifically, criteria is very important.
Yes, and I also think, different from the shows where it's almost all trainees. There are a few trainees in this roster, but these are all debuted people. So similar to Queendom Puzzle,
it's
not like, are you good or are you bad? Because ostensibly there are no bad
performers in this. It's more, do you fit the puzzle in what's trying to be formed?
Right. So in that regard, that is what they are voting.
Yes.
Because if they were like, are they good? Everybody's going to get 39 votes.
Yeah.
That's not the point. I'm going to go over a couple that they highlight. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to go over all of them because they don't go over all of them. Yeah. But I just want to talk about a few of the ones that we were like, ooh, first is V2. V2. Now V2, we have a long sordid history.
Long history with V2. Mm-hmm. Okay.
V2 is our when we say beloved, sometimes it's like a little like
our beloved Ichan.
Right. It's a little tongue in cheek.
It's tongue in cheek.
This is our beloved Jay Chang.
Our beloved Jay Chang. Our beloved Sunu. Our beloved. I feel like we come out with beloveds in every survival show.
Yes. Jay Chang is V2. He's in the soul category.
Yeah.
His voice is great. We know this already.
We know this already. He starts singing even when we were watching that clip. He started singing and we're like, well, found Jay Chang.
He has such a specific style of singing. Mm-hmm. It is not like, it's not a unique voice. Right? Like I think it makes sense that he's not in the unique category.
It's soul.
But it is soul, and he is very good. It's very smooth.
It's smooth. It is it feels liquid. Like it feels like
viscous.
Yes. He knows how to fit his voice into what it needs to come out.
Greasy has a negative connotation, but it's so slippery. Like mm-hmm. It's like
slick. That's the word you're thinking of, unfortunately.
He receives 23 votes. Mm-hmm. So if there's 39 contestants, he's in the top half.
Yes, and everyone's already like, ooh, I thought, because people were like, I really thought everyone was going to vote. Yes, because why wouldn't you want to sing with that vote? So that, because he went first, everyone's like, oh, that's the standard we're setting. We're really thinking about.
Yeah. Do you want to blend? Do you want to blend? Do you think the group should be blending, or do you think it should be like 4 individual voices that fit well?
Together,
like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. We talked a lot about Sopranos and Queendom Puzzle.
We did.
The tenors, we are awful. We are a
sick group of people.
We are so competitive.
This is very much giving a callback for what's his name in Newsies?
Jack Kelly.
Jack Kelly.
Yes.
It's that energy.
It's giving Santa Fe. Everyone is singing the same 32 bars from Santa Fe.
Yeah. Speaking of musical theater, Songjong is next. He receives 25 votes. He's also in Seoul. He's V16. He's a musical theater actor. He sounded great. There's some others that we get. Bitseon. We get
our beloved Hwani. Because he also, he was sick. He was recovering from, I think, a surgery.
Himself, yeah.
Yeah. So he'd never finished Boys Planet.
He never finished Boys Planet, but he did MC a challenge day. Which was great.
This is his all-stars.
Jung's friend.
Famously, Jung's like one of Jung's best friends.
Hwani receives 14 votes. There's a collection of, it's like Hwani, Sokwa, donghun
from Ace.
Yes. And Gonu.
And
all get low votes.
They were all looped together. It's like these are main vocalists in idol groups.
Yes.
So it's like they have the big criticism, which I've noticed a lot in this episode, and I think will be for running for that whole show, is like, will they stand out as a unique voice? Because being a main vocalist in a pop group,
so there are nobody's bad here.
Nobody's bad. Okay.
But there is like, even like, let's talk about a group that has a specific vocal line. So 17. So Bu Seung-hwan and Dokyeom are like vocalists, and Joshua and Jonghan and Woozi are great singers.
Yes.
But like, it's that slight difference. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, there are other similar types of voices.
Yes.
Whereas like Seung-hwan and DK stand out.
It's truly about just the makeup of an idol group that doesn't really account for like all the main vocalists. Sometimes even any are like a unique voice. Like
right.
What this show is trying to highlight something special about someone's voice, and it has to be more than just you sound great. So you sound great, and what else?
Yeah.
Idol groups are brought up not necessarily with that as a priority, and I don't think it has to be.
Right.
It depends really for the group. So I'm curious to see how the idol main vocalists do on the show, if they can rise up. I mean, we see someone does, so and it is a main part of his story.
Yeah.
So,
but our beloved Gonu.
Literally our beloved Gonu in pink hair.
I'm loving this hair.
Gonu, please let us interview you.
Why is he best friends with Jay Chang on this show? Why is he
best friends with Jay Chang? We should be best friends with both of them.
We should interview both of them.
Because we've both seen them now in 2 shows.
We've seen Gonu live in person.
We've
played rock, paper, scissors
with Gonu. It feels like we're going to end up having our own all-stars someday. And it's just the people that have been on multiple survival shows that
it's going to be recapped. All-Stars, the beloved season.
Yeah, beloved all-stars.
Yeah. So Seung-hoon is next from CIX.
Yes, we have seen CIX live.
We've seen CIX live. It's very exciting.
I've seen him take his shirt off on stage. At the Vic.
I did forget he did that. Holy shit. We did see that.
And the CIX.
The problem is like, for me in CIX.
Yes, they're all.
Bae Jin-young is.
Like, unearthly. He is so attractive.
I couldn't see anyone. I couldn't see anyone else. Because I was only watching him. And they're all so good.
Yes.
So this was exciting for me to be like, oh, okay.
Let me focus on someone else.
Because CIX also they're not like, they're like a K-pop, like pretty standard like
K-pop idol group. Yeah.
They're mostly like pop, dancey type songs.
Yeah.
So it's very exciting to hear Seung-hoon's voice. However, he's V1. He gets 7 votes.
It feels like a song choice.
That is exactly what I thought. I was like, this is just not the song
to feature
your charms.
Pure vocals.
Yeah. Now we come to the girly pop portion of the episode.
Girls. It took us, 20 minutes to find...
I mean, I will say this is
First of all, this show was going like 200 miles an hour. It was like that motorcycle that drove from Colorado Springs to Denver in 20 minutes.
You were pulling references that no one has any idea what the fuck you're talking about. Yes.
Like this show went by so fast.
Yes.
They were cramming so much.
It's very clear this is not made for an international audience at all.
Yeah.
They don't care if you know these people at all.
No.
There is an expectation that you should already know them to some extent.
Yeah.
Yeah. You definitely should know the songs that they're singing.
Oh, yeah. It's like, this is the great Korean songbook.
Yes. This is the
picking classics.
You know the book that you get, like, it's like the musical theater songs for tenors, volume 2.
It's this. Yeah. But we find a sister.
Okay. It's giving baby girl.
It's giving beloved, future beloved, running for beloved.
I mean, I feel very strongly putting chips on the line for a beloved.
Haeun. Yeah.
So Haeun,
who sings the Adele song. I remember when we were...
Who chose to sing the Adele song.
Let's just say she sang... There's 2 people that sing Adele. There was someone that did Rolling in the Deep.
Oh, yes,
and then
yes.
Haeun did One and Only.
Mm-hmm.
Bain sings Maria by Hwasa. And Umuti sings 7, Jungkook 7, but the Lotto version. The Lotto verse.
Which again, like...
But...
that's not...
I know. But... I mean, we found our...
I love to see...
We found the coalition.
I see. We search and we find. And...
We search and we found.
Haeun is a unique voice. He is V7, in case you want to go watch his video. He receives 27 votes because his tone is actually antithetical to how he talks.
Yes.
He's like,
안녕하세요. I'm Haeun, and I'm so excited to be here.
Why are you going to corporate Aaron? You like slipped into it.
I know. He's like so like very bright.
Yep, bright's the word.
Bright's the coded word that they love to use in these shows.
And
wow, he's so bright.
His voice is so dark.
Yeah.
And like not raspy, but like there's grit to his voice that does not come through in his speaking voice.
He's unique, right?
Yes, he's
unique. I could have bought that he was like soul too. It has an earthiness to it, but because it's so high, he has such a high range.
Yeah.
I think that's why it's unique.
And I just, from this little outfit with the little bow
waif,
and
my God, and this helmet hair, another bob, Adam.
It's great. I'm a little all in on Haeun.
She's the one.
I'm re-looking at my 4. I'm a little all in on Haeun.
We should pick a 4 today.
That's so hard.
Or at least just like a 4 draft.
Neon is unique.
Neon is
V33
unique.
gets
I remember
13
his
votes.
Voice. Yes.
But he like basically outs himself and is like, let's get up, let's dance, because he sings
yes, Rush Hour. Yep.
Yeah, Rush Hour. So because people were like dancing, they like forgot to vote for him. So he probably would have gotten more, but it is funny.
V19 was one of my picks.
One of your picks. His name is Kwang-seok. Okay? He receives 32 votes.
Yeah, he was the highest.
He is number 1.
Yes. They were like, this voice.
This is the voice. They all spun their chairs around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you sound like that.
I think what was really...
Because he's unique, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think what I could tell was that people... It felt like the unique voices were unique in power. Mm-hmm. Did better, I felt like, because their voices felt more aspirational to other singers. Because it's like, I wish I could do that.
Yeah, yeah.
But I know, like Jay said it, that like sometimes it's like, I don't know if I also want to sing with that.
Right.
Like they have to kind of think about like, is it just because I'm jealous, or like I admire it so much.
It is. I think it's very hard for, especially like the unique voices.
Yeah.
Unique voices, I feel like are good to be solos, not necessarily
a group
in a
blend.
group. Whereas, but also, so then you're saying, okay, well then you take all four all-rounders because they're just like super blendy, poppy, but then it's not, there's nothing to distinguish it.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's that balance of too much versus not enough.
Do you think then by separating into 4 groups, what the show is trying to say is like, you need a soul, a power, a unique, an all-rounder?
I kind of wish they had done 10 from each, and then you had to create a 4, or each challenge had to be 1 from each group in each of their little mini missions.
And then at the end, it's like, and then it's free
and then it's
all.
whoever. Yeah.
I wish that it was even, because if it was even in that way,
I wish it was Park Han Bin from Even as well.
Yes, I do too. I think it was sung on, obviously, but let's not. Well, I want sung on to get a
Okay,
game.
so Tere would definitely be unique, right?
Tere or Soul.
I think he'd be unique.
I think he would be Soul.
Do we know anyone that would be Power?
I think. Or are you saying Sung-an is more all-rounder?
I'm thinking like Bu Sung Kwan is Power.
Right.
So he's currently number 1 Kwang Sok. So then they have Mr. Jeup comes in.
And everyone's
V34.
like, oh, I've seen him want. Everyone kept being like, watch out for Miss Ribbon and Red Suit.
Yeah.
And Jeup is Ribbon. And
Jeup is Ribbon.
Jeup is Ribbon.
And I voted for Ribbon and Red Suit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is like, his range knows no bounds.
He said what range?
Yeah.
That a range implies a limit, honey.
And the limit does not exist.
The limit does not exist. Go see Mean Girls in theaters now.
Yeah, it's crazy. This voice is
crazy.
insane.
He gets only 28 votes,
Because
so he ends up being
this
third.
was the one that people were like,
Second.
he's third.
Second. Ha-Yoon is third.
That's when people were like, should I be voting this because I want to sing with it, or
Yes.
do I just want this voice?
Right. I mean, it's a gift.
Yeah.
It is absolutely a gift. Okay, and then from there we go straight
to the mission.
into the mission.
Yeah.
To the point that it was like, it started and I was like, wait, what happened?
Why did you even do 40 people if you won't be able to, you know what I mean?
Okay, here's what I like about how they set it up. It is not a unique individual audition they do to each other.
Yes.
It's already just the videos that have been out.
Yeah, that's true.
So they're just hearing what we heard.
Exactly. So that is the thing. They were like, you've already heard these.
Right.
So-
and you can watch the others.
And just watch them.
Right. So I did kind of like that. They do end up putting everybody's spreadsheet up to see who's what ranked, blah, blah, blah.
The numbers that our Just Be boys do not do well. They have some low numbers in there. Okay, I think
Just Be
Bain and Gonu are like in the last like
back
30
half,
to 40.
The back half, yeah.
Umuti's like in the middle. Hwani's like in the middle. And really the people that are in the front are like those kind of standouts.
Yeah. So the range is 32 votes from Gwangsok to 5 votes for Inte. So a spread. A range.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the pre-4 mission. So basically from the rank that they were given from each other's voting, they are going to do first come first serve in order to 10 different songs, 10 groups of 4. And then they just fill up all the spots. And then whoever wins top tier for each group will end up getting a benefit.
Yep.
Okay. That's the challenge.
That's the challenge.
Very simple, straightforward.
Very simple. And then we are just going down the line group to group.
So
it's a flash forward.
It's a classic survival show. Flash forward, flashback.
It's like, how did you feel about the line distribution? Flashback.
Yeah. First is If You, which is from Big Bang. Thank you. And in this group, we have Gonu, Jae, Ha-yoon, and Sungjoon. Okay? How did you feel about this performance? I was going to say, I have just quickly nothing to say about this line distribution. There is no drama. There's not even a story
There's not even a story.
They show it because they feel like they have to show it.
Yeah.
And nothing happens.
Yeah.
And so then they just like cut back to the performance. It's very strange.
I know they show it. I know they did discuss what the line distribution is, but they solved it on that first
there was nothing to solve. They just were like, and I think you should do that. And then blah, blah, blah.
It was almost like to show like how the line distribution worked, because it was like the first four parts are you have to do it, and then the rest you can decide how it's
yeah. But even the first four parts,
there's specific ABCD.
There's still ABCD, and then you have to decide, and then the rest
are like blocked, are in blocks also, but you have to assign a letter to each.
Yeah.
And that was it.
And you can do duets, I think.
Yeah. Or harmonize.
Whatever.
I thought this was very nice.
I'd never heard the song before. I thought this was good.
I thought it was good too.
I thought it was very pretty. I thought it was very K-pop ballad.
Yes, it's a K-pop ballad for sure. It's a pop ballad, but more so in like commercial. It's not like a ballad.
It's also not,
even though it is evocative, because that was like their criticism. Like it's still, you're expressing emotion, and that's technically what these judges are supposed to vote when they pick top tier. Who expressed the song the best?
Yes, in their opinion. Yeah.
Yes. Should we talk about the judges super quick?
Oh, go ahead. We have Wendy Houston here.
Wendy Houston. We've got
Mr. Man with the glasses. I never remember his name.
Sue something. I don't know. But he is like
Sue Sylvester.
Yeah,
Sylvester is one of the judges. It's actually really crazy.
He is like a vocal coach to the stars. Like he's
Mr. SM.
Yes,
he's the SM vocal coach.
You have Baeko,
and I'd love to.
Thank
you so much.
You have Solar from Mamamoo, which we know is like
Alto.
That is a vocals group, bitch.
Oh, please,
bitch.
please, be serious.
Yeah, And we have Jaehwan from 101.
Yes, he's guesting just for this episode. He's guesting
for this episode, and then Eunkwang, B2B's Eunkwang.
Yes,
this is the mother who birthed Busongkwan. You know, like this is...
I don't know this lore. What are you talking about?
That's just he's the mother.
They're friends?
But like, it feels like they have like similar trajectories.
Sure.
Their main vocals, but they slay. And they have like very, yes.
Well, I think vocals come through a matrilineal line, so it makes sense that a mother passes on to another mother. Yeah, we're saying the same thing.
Yes.
Here's the thing about If You. I thought it was great. Like, I thought it was really good.
Yeah, totally.
And Jay he will do these little runs
to color
in, and they like my body full tingles.
I know. It
literally is the epitome of like flossing your ears. Like it's like it scratches that itch so good.
I know.
It's like, I mean, this show is going to kill me because it is just the thing I love that I talk about so much, which is like people at with their greatest talent getting to show off those talents.
Yep.
There's nothing better. This is the most exciting thing about like humanity and the arts.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
It's great. I thought this song was good.
I thought it was good.
I don't think it was difficult.
I don't think it was difficult for these boys.
Yeah. I think that was the only thing.
And because it's Jay's voice and he has the ability to do these runs, it's an immediate, like, that's what made you stand out.
100%. Yeah. But that being said, Hyun sounds great.
Yes. Solar was
It is so crazy to go from his speaking voice to what he sounds like when he sings.
Yeah.
It is, the shift is so crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, it is very reminiscent of like when I would go on hookups in college.
In college.
And I would be like, hey. Like,
when you would when you went on chat rooms online and you would go, hey, my name's Brett.
Brett.
Or whatever.
I said Adam.
Okay.
But I didn't say Adam. I said, hey, I'm Adam. It's very that. It's shocking.
Yeah.
I think that's really the crux of what I was trying to say in that story. It was very surprising.
So Songjin was said that he held the core of the song really well. Gonu had criticism that it felt like his expressions were like overacting a little bit.
It's so crazy that it is the same
things. Not that he hasn't gotten better.
Actually,
he's more expressive now.
His island criticisms were that he wasn't expressing himself.
He's overcorrecting.
Yes.
But we've seen Gonu perform before, and it's like, I think it's the pressure of like, I am just singing ballads that I'm like, well, I'm really going to act it. But it's hard. It's hard.
It is hard. I think Gonu is such a talented singer. His voice is so wonderful to listen to.
Amazing.
I really like it.
I really like Gonu.
The one thing I do want to say about his technique is that
it looks like he's straining.
It looks like he's straining.
I know. It looks
because
like
it looks like his jaw is like
clenched. I know.
And I want him just like loosen his jaw.
I know.
And then I think it would be like 12 times better.
I know. But that's hard.
So if you can call
Gonu,
baby, we love you so much. We're rooting for you so hard.
Yeah. This pink hair, I know you just dyed your hair black. You're back to your black hair.
He's back to black.
He's back.
Who cares? I'm not rooting for Gonu anymore. I don't care.
This pink hair is
so mad.
I love this pink hair.
It's so good.
Much.
It's because it's
like
not pink.
It's like light.
It's like rose gold.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's so. He's so
God,
cute.
I love Gonu.
He's so attractive.
He's so attractive. He sounds amazing.
Jaewin's top tier is that who? So I circled as I was writing. I circled who I would have picked. I picked Jay.
I would have picked Jay Chang too.
I think that's right, and it is a unanimous decision from the judges. And I think that they said they were like he picked the best song for his voice.
Totally.
And I think that is on these shows. That's that aspect of the shows that they never.
Yep.
I mean, he's lucky, right? He was in the first half.
Yeah, first half.
Yeah, he's in that first column, I think. So he had pretty much, unless there were like 4 of the top people all went to the same song, which there was very little chance that they were going to do that. He had a pretty good shot of getting whatever song he wanted. It's these people who on the lower end who kind of get shafted into whatever's available. This is Every Moment of You. Every moment.
They literally were like, oh, this is a legendary song. It's forbidden because everyone quivers at the intro.
See, I already forgot. Did you remember?
Da, 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 da. And I told Adam, it's the it's that you hear it and you're like,
here's who's in the group. Inte, Sungun from CIX, Sungwon, who is a musical theater actor.
Yes.
And Bane.
From Just Beat.
Just Beat.
So
Bane has red hair.
The story getting into it, Sunghun was like, I'm rank low, so I don't know what song I'm gonna get, but
he has to prove himself.
But I know no one is gonna pick this song because it's hard. It's iconic. And so he was like, I think I'm gonna go for it. Because him and Hwani were like kiki.
Well, it's weird. Okay, so I will say,
and the person that picks it first is the musical actor.
Sungwon.
Mm-hmm. Because they played a little bit of his clip. He does have it is a musical.
He was the one who sang the Eagles song.
Yes. Desperado.
Yes. And he got 21 votes.
Yeah. Just a powerful Like
musical theater.
Yeah, musical theater voice.
Yeah. But I will say, none of these musical theater girlies sound like
Katie from Mean Girls, the original Broadway.
No. Yes. Sound like the BFA, I went to Michigan.
Yes.
Musical theater voice.
They're not interlocking voices.
Thank God. That's not why I'm watching a K-pop survival show, is to hear an interlocking voice. I'll be completely honest. Yeah. And if you have a problem with that, don't. We're going for all the girls.
Yeah, all the BFAs.
No one is watching this, so thank God.
They're not going to be. No, they're not. No. I think we did have a couple of Michigan girls that have commented before. That's like, damn, drag us Sopranos.
Oh, sorry. I mean, listen.
But now we're not even talking about Sopranos anymore.
No,
Mama, we're talking about annoying tenors. Not all of them. Some of them. No, I meant not all of them are.
Oh. Well,
the theater is such a liminal space. You never really know. We've watched the West Side Story before, and we're like,
no, that Tony is Antoinette. Maria, I just met a girl named Maria. The interesting thing I found about this song is that it is not, I think that the song itself is inherently very difficult, right?
It's just
I think it's just so specifically iconic to that original singer.
Yes.
That it's like a little don't touch that.
Yeah.
Which is a little bit of like, the Whitney Houston thing.
It's like
the Mariah thing. When they the song gets so iconic.
I think it's more specifically Mariah because Whitney.
People should not be.
No one should
not be attempting to do Whitney. Or I'm sorry, Mariah songs.
Mariah songs. Because Whitney's song, it's like if you have that voice, then you can. But the Mariah songs specifically are so made for
catered to her voice because she writes them, Mama.
Yeah.
That's a singer-songwriter ass.
Yeah. I had a vision of love, and it was all that you've given to me.
What is the greatest song Mariah Carey ever wrote?
Oh, God.
And why is it?
Can't take that away from me.
No. Where are you, Christmas? Why can I find who? And you know who sings that in over the credits of How the Grinch Stole Christmas 2000 parentheses 2002 director Ron Howard starring Jim Carrey.
Who?
Faith fucking Hill. Our beloved Faith Hill somebody name.
Because one of the songs is Breath.
One of the songs is Breath. That's in the next episode.
And we were like, oh my God, imagine if it was Breathe.
Imagine if it was
Faith
Breathe.
Hill's Breathe. Because I can feel you breathe. I've already sung this song in our recaps before. But I mean, we talk about like these songs, like no one does these ballads anymore. We've talked about in Queen and
This
Puzzle.
is why we have to keep referencing the same ones because they're not doing them.
Yeah, truly. We keep going back for Faith Hill, Martina, Shania.
The
Kelly.
legends.
Like we just keep going back and
Kelly.
forth because we've stopped as a American culture. And it's time to bring
American
it back.
pop music in the 90s had like a full adult contemporary
Celine.
genre. There would be no Celine today.
Yeah.
We would not have a Celine because people just refuse to do this music. Because we got to get the TikTok likes or whatever. Fuck the current state of music. I feel very strongly about that.
I do too, unfortunately. That's why people are like, have you listened? We have a friend who's like, I love this. Enter white artist here. And I'm like, no, I'm
Congrats.
Sorry.
And it's not even the one you're thinking of.
And it's not even the one
it's not even that
one you're thinking of, honestly.
It's not that one. I mean, good for her, but it's not her.
Yeah, it's not even that one. Because I'll throw back on some of those, Maybe not throwback.
Yeah, I don't think throwback. I'll put some on.
Yeah.
I'll drop them in a shuffle.
Sure. If I'm working and, there's the nice
really liked Evermore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked Evermore a little more than Folklore.
More than Folklore.
Yeah.
A little witchier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stevie Nicks. Ooh. I thought Sung-hoon did a great job. He ended up singing the intro, and then the musical actor ended up singing the chorus. And I could tell because Sung-hoon was like, I want to, but he didn't have it at first, but then he was like, can I actually get a better shot? And then he ends up doing it.
Yes, there was a lot of back and forth in this negotiation over the part splitting.
And I think it's because they kind of took a step back and was like, production-wise for this number, I actually think this is how the voices should be split up. And I think it
probably split up the correct way.
Yeah.
For sure. I picked Sung-hoon to...
The only person that I felt like also had a hard time was probably Bane, because I don't think this is the right song for his voice. But he didn't do a bad job. I just
he didn't do a bad job.
Just didn't fit it a little bit more than everyone else.
I didn't think he rose to the challenge like the other three did.
Yes, but I do think...
Although Intae's voice is very interesting.
Intae's voice is really nice, and Solar was like, "You're the only one that smiled," and she ended up voting for him. Actually, she was like, "You're the only one who like expressed like joy in this song." Mm-hmm. That it is a yearning song, but like there's still a love that I saw from you.
It's not the next song, which is full like "Don't leave me."
Don't leave me. Yeah, literally. But yeah, I agree that Sung should have been the top tier here, just because it felt the most cohesive in the expressing and the technique.
Yes, that being said though, Sungwon has the voice.
Oh yeah.
It's that his vibrato. Mama. It's so good. And that sweater.
I know he talked about the Yumish CCM of it all. Mm-hmm. And I think that's gonna come up with these musical actors for sure. Mm-hmm. It's the way you come in with all of that training, but you can't show it.
It has to, yeah.
It still has to. It's just part of the suspension of disbelief that you have when you are watching someone sing on stage.
Okay, so the thing about musical theater singing that people who don't listen to musical theater get so hung up on is not the style necessarily of the singing. It is the way the lyrics are sung, because they are, in most musical theater songs, they're supposed to be advancing the plot.
Right.
They're supposed to be giving information to the audience.
You have to, because it's actually driving story forward.
Correct. So you can't...
It's not just emoting a feeling in a song.
It's not supposed to be.
Well, it's not supposed to be. That's right. Okay, jukebox.
Basic and Paul.
It's supposed...
I'll say it.
It's supposed to move the story forward. So it's not just expressing a song. It's actually like conveying...
You have to give information to the audience. Yes, it's information. So that is why they sound the way they do, because you're paying for a ticket to understand a plot.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
Yeah.
Whereas pop songs
can
live in more of a poetic energy.
Yes.
Than musical theater songs. Not that there isn't poetry in musical theater songs, obviously, but like you can listen to that song over and over and over and get little nuances every
time.
Yeah. I think so far we only really saw Sungwon, but I think he's doing a really good job of like, I have all the understanding of how to be an actor who can do this 8 shows a week or however. I don't know how Korea does their musical theater schedule, but I have the training to make sure that I'm a healthy performer.
Yeah.
Which is really the big part and parcel of it.
Yeah.
But I also know when to throw it away so that I can sound effortless, which is part of the pop sound.
Part of the pop sound.
Speaking of training, I think Intae has a really unique, like, soft voice that's very nice to listen to. And I want it just like a 10th stronger so that I feel like it's not... They were right at his like break is where I felt like it was like a little, just a tiny bit shaky.
Right.
And if he strengthens that, it's just going to be like
There it is.
There it is. Because that's you never as an audience member feel like, oh, I need to worry that they're not going to hit that note. They're not going to
hit it. Yes.
That's what you never want that feeling as an audience member. So that is like the hardest part, is to make the audience feel like I'm so confident in this. Even if you like sound it has to be like so confident the audience has to feel confident about that you're going to hit this note, no problem. Right. Yeah. Like, for example, in our next song, jeup, when he goes for this octave, this 3-octave jump.
G sharp 3-octave jump.
Crazy. That is an insane
eyes
range.
Rolling back in my head. Like, how did you do that?
It's insane. And at no point during that song was I was like, I don't know if he's going to be able to hit that. Make it. No, girl. I was like, girl, go ahead. Do it. Do the damn thing. Sungun got 5 and Inte got 1.
Yes.
So Sungun is officially top tier. Okay. Don't go. Here are the performers. Neon, jeup, Hyukjin, who you voted for, and donghun.
Who's ace?
Did
I have Hyukjin?
I had Hyukjin.
You had Hyukjin and jeup.
In my original 4 pre-show.
Yes. Okay, so...
Okay, I'm going to start.
Okay.
Because I cried watching this.
You did.
I burst into tears, and it is not at the point that I think people would assume, which is the high note. It was not that. It sounded great, but it was not that.
Was it the blending?
It was donghun's like solo part.
Yes!
There was so much emotion put into that. I get not a word of Korean. I don't know a goddamn thing in Korean.
All I know is that the title of the song is Don't Go, Don't Go.
And I knew exactly what they were saying.
I literally felt it, especially him. And we get a package. Donghun is like, I have a little bit of a survival show trauma. I've done this multiple times and I've never, I'm 1 in 1. I made it to the debut group.
I'm the only one.
Mm-hmm. Yes, don't even waste your time trying to compete with me. And so he ended up debuting, but he was like, I thought, like all these other idols that I feel like we see in these shows, I thought that debuting would fix everything. But it's still hard work.
Yeah, it's just more work.
And he was like, I feel like since debuting, I've never truly shown that I love to sing. Mm-hmm. And so they show these clips of him singing in his little homemade studio in his little apartment.
This little Notre Dame sweatshirt. This is for me already. This is the first episode of this show. This is up there for me. I can't really compare it to Boys Planet because Boys Planet didn't really have like this much drama happening in their songs. Or like dramatic emotion, I should say. This is for me the Bora K. Like, yes, just insane people at the peak of their ability.
Yes,
just performing the fuck out of it.
Yeah,
eating the stage.
It's an 11 o'clock number. It's like it is.
I was like, I'm so lucky to be alive to watch this happen.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine having been one of the judges in that room to be or just a cameraman, just a grip.
Just catering Nuna in the back, just like. Solar was like
screaming.
She couldn't. Her face was just like she could not handle it.
It's honey.
And I was her.
And I can't even be like, and really it's just donghun, or really it's just jeup. Like,
no,
all 4 of them are so good,
powerful in their own right. Because I think the person I was most worried about was obviously Neon, just because he had such a unique voice,
right?
More than everyone.
The blending was
so good. I mean, like he sounded like a really good baritone. And I think everyone was shocked.
My mouth was, I wanted to, we had to record this, so I couldn't. I wanted to watch this
over and over
immediately.
Again. I know.
I probably will when I go to bed.
Yeah. You immediately said after this, I was like, this makes me want to watch every single thing that donghun has ever done.
Am I crazy? Like, from that, okay, it's first of all the performance, which is,
yeah.
I'm shook. I'm shook from this performance. To him getting top tier. He gets 3 votes. He gets top tier. And then he starts crying. I was like...
And even the judges were like, it's just one mission, girl. But he was like, I just have never won.
Because there's this... Oh. There's the story. There's the lore. There's the... I mean, this is how you set up your narrative, honey. Take notes. For whenever you're on a K-pop survival show, this is what you do.
This is what you do.
You give them something to use.
Give them something to use. You can't just be like, oh. No. Talk. Cry. Share. Be really emotive. Be like vulnerable. Unfortunately, it's a reality show. This is how reality shows are made, girls.
It is the vulnerability that makes people feel like they know you.
Because you know what? If you're vulnerable and you break down after being eliminated because you didn't know the words to the Cher song, you're gonna have a full... you're gonna be like the main character for like a whole week. I would have picked donghun. Even though Jeup's vocals are amazing. Out of this world.
The only thing is that I think because I already expected that from him. That I was like, this is meeting my expectations.
I was genuinely mesmerized at how like passionately donghun was singing. That I was like, oh, this means something to him.
Yes. I think they all do a really good job.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah, the donghun vocals are insane.
Yeah, I burst into tears.
Yeah.
I literally burst into tears. I felt crazy, but I did. I cried.
I think donghun's going to make it. I think he's getting...
he's got a good narrative so far.
I think he has the best narrative right now. I'm scared. It might be a little hui, but there is a Pentagon member here too.
There is a Pentagon member. We'll talk about that next week.
They might just put the Hui Tech storyline in Yeon. So... And that's really... those are the 3 performances that we get.
Those are the 3 performances
we will get the rest next week. Mm-hmm. And then they're going to be like the top tier, the 10 top tiers will then rank a bottom tier, a middle tier and a bottom tier, I think, for the rest.
Yeah. Is there anyone that you are keeping an eye on?
Yes. Our boy's voice, Ingenue, is in this. Minuk. He's in here. He keeps showing up because he has been showing up a lot in the...
He's Seoul.
Yeah, they pan to him a lot.
Yes.
Because he reacts very big. He has
very expressive reactions.
Very expressive reactions. That'll also get you a lot of screen time.
Yeah. Chang. Very expressive reactions.
Yes.
But we knew that.
There's another one.
Juani. Juani is narrator of the show.
Producer Juani, right?
Producer Juani.
Juani is
very like Candy Muse.
Producer Juani Candy Muse right now.
Yeah.
Like literally. Mm-hmm. The other uptension singer that's in here is also kind of producer energy. He keeps commenting a lot. He talks a lot. The member from AB6 is also very expressive.
Yeah.
That I'm also keeping my eye on.
I can't wait to see Umuti.
Another beloved.
Another true beloved.
I mean, like Boys Planet they were all our beloveds.
Yeah.
If any of them show up again in anything,
we're watching.
We're
sat. Ungi's in a BL.
Ungi's in a fucking BL. And it's actually...
We're watching.
And it's really good.
And it's really good. And he's really good in it. Yes.
I mean, we watched Mingyu audition for a voice webtoon, and he ate.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah,
so I'm excited to see how Umti does. Mm-hmm. And Juani, obviously. He'll be the first one to perform in the next episode.
Yeah. And I'm excited to meet some of these idols from groups that I don't really know too, which is really cool. The singer
from Vanner, because they won Peak Time, so everyone is like, you guys are gonna love him.
Yeah.
The singer from Way, Yeon from Pentagon,
AB6,
and I'm excited to see my picks.
Whoever they may be,
because they haven't performed yet.
Yeah.
Let's end it with a song, since this is the vocal show.
Okay.
There can be miracles when you believe. When
just cut it there.
When hope is
just cut
something.
it there.